Welcome back. This is lesson 5 in the Tin Man. We're going to start building some more components. A couple of joints here, the one we see for the wrist and this one right here, which is also used on the leg. We'll modify them as we need, but we'll start with a base piece for each of these and add them to our library. So let's go ahead and start with a cylinder. Dropping that down here. Going to the inputs. Taking subdivision axis down to 12, 0 on the caps, and 2 on the height. We'll rotate it in X, 90 degrees. Just have it face towards us. I'm just going to work on this object right here. So to hide the other pieces without throwing them on a layer or anything, I'm just going to select this cylinder and go under Show, Isolate Selection, View Selected. That just turns everything else off in here. And if I end up adding anything else to the scene, I will have to go up here and add it to the scene because it will not show up otherwise. All right, with this selected, I'm going to delete the back faces that we don't need. We'll just mirror those over when we're done with the front here. Grab the front face, extrude that, center it, pull that out. All right, we have that. Let's hit extrude again, center it, scale that in, create a little bit of a lip there. Okay, and then I'm going to hit extrude again, center it, drop it in, like that. And I'm going to scale it in a little bit so we have a bit of an angle. Tapering off. Extrude again, center it, scale that in. Extrude one more time, center that, bring this piece out and scale it in. Go ahead and push that back. I don't want it really coming much beyond that point right there, maybe just slightly. Okay, and we'll just finish this off here by extruding that. Center that, activate the scale tool. All right. And we'll need to quad this off now. Hit Q on the keyboard to end that process. Use our split polygon tool. Drop the first one in. Hitting Enter to complete it. And one across the center here. Okay, so we've created 4-sided polygons here, which is what we want. And if we take a look at this in smooth preview mode, you can see it's a little bit soft looking. We want a little bit more hard edge to it than that. So I'm going to go back to 1 on my keyboard. We're going to insert some edge loops. Start with one right here, another one here, on either side. Drop one in here. One in the center here, and this one I'm going to actually move out a little bit with the Move tool, similar to what we did around the collar and the neck. Let's go ahead and extrude these faces right here. Just shift selecting the double clicking. And let's pull these out. Create a little bit of an edge right there. Hit R on the keyboard, kind of scale them back a little bit. And add some more edge loops around here. Okay. I might want to drop one in right here and just scale that up slightly. Okay, let's go back to object mode, 3 on the keyboard to look at it. And now that we have this side complete, we're going to mirror it over to the other side. Back under Polygon, Menu Set, under Mesh, all the way down at the bottom, there's Mirror Geometry. Let's open up that option box for that. There's the option box. It's going to be -Z. And we're just going to mirror that over, merging the vertices. And we've got a joint piece right there to start with. And I'm going to go to my outliner and just call that Joint 1, Joint Main 1. And we'll turn that off. And we'll go ahead and get started on our next joint. So I've clicked that, created a cylinder down here in the origin, and we should see the inputs for polycylinder 2. Let's go ahead and change that to 12, subdivision axis, 2 for the height, and 0 for the caps. Okay, and we will again rotate it 90 degrees in X. We're still in this isolate perspective here. I already went ahead and added that to the selection. You can also just completely uncheck this. Your other objects will show up here though, however. I kind of like to keep them isolated, so I'm going to check View Selected, turn the other ones off. Okay, again, I'm just going to right mouse click, select all the back faces here that I don't want. Delete those, select this face, and we're going to shape this one a little bit differently. This is the wrist joint, and we'll also use it for the knuckles on the hand. So it's going to have a little bit of a variation to it than the last one we did. Let's go ahead and extrude that, center it, and pull that out. Hit extrude again, center it, pull that out a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and scale it in now. This one's actually going to come out a little bit like this. It's going to taper down at an angle. Okay, I'm going to extrude again, scale it in a little bit to create a little bit of thickness. Extrude again, center it, push that back in. And we'll also scale that in a little bit so it tapers a bit. Extrude again, center it. We'll scale that in. Extrude again, center it. Pull this piece out, leaving it a little bit recessed, or maybe just bringing it right up to the edge there. Not going beyond this edge here. Let's taper that off. Extrude again. Center it, and we'll just scale that in, and then we'll quad this very small piece off. It seems like a minor little thing, but it's actually important to quad everything off properly. So I'm going to hit Q on the keyboard or the select tool. Use the split polygon tool now, and I'm going to click and drag along the edge, top to bottom, enter to complete it, activate it right here again, enter, and the last one is going across here. Okay, so we've done that now, and we will have to do our edge loops. First, I'd like to, I actually should have extruded this out. I want to recess this here, but we're going to have a little bit of an edge along there. So just grab these faces here. So let's just extrude that. And I'm going to push these in. Just delete these faces right here. Not too far. I just want a slight little kind of indentation right there. Okay. Q on the keyboard to end that. Let's get rid of these faces here. Okay. So that's our new shape right there. Let's go ahead and insert edge loops, starting from the center piece and moving down here. Drop one on either side of this edge. Same thing here. Bringing one out to this edge here. I want this one to be a little bit crisper. I don't think I'm going to pull that one little edge out right there. And then over to the side here, we want a little bit of a hard edge on this one too. Same thing back here. Drop one right there. And our last two right there. Okay. Q on the keyboard to end that process. Right mouse click, go to object mode. And 3 on the keyboards, go up under mesh, mirror geometry. We'll just make sure we're in -Z and hit mirror. All right. So there is our second joint. Let's open up the outliner. Call it joint main 2. All right. So let's drag and drop both of these joints right here into our library. So I just selected them both, middle mouse button, and drop that into the library. So we should have 4 pieces in our library now: the cylinder main, the rivet, and the 2 joints that we just made. All right, we'll start getting those joints in place and working on some of the connection pieces, legs and arms, in the next few lessons. I'm back here in our outliner and looking inside our library. We've created these 4 pieces, and we cleaned up these 2, the cylinder and the rivet. However, the joints that we just made, we still need to go back and clean up this construction history. What you want to do when you're done modeling a piece, you want to edit, delete by type history. So that just eliminates construction history. This is everything we did starting from the poly cylinder 2, everything that we did to it to create that piece. So with it selected, I'm just going to delete the history on it. And I'm going to go ahead and grab everything inside the library. And we rotated most of these and scaled them around. So I'm going to do something called modify freeze transforms that zeroes everything back out to the origin. And with that done, I'm just going to go ahead and turn the visibility off on the library, leaving all of these pieces on inside here. The shortcut for turning things on and off, the visibility on and off, you can type it in here, and you can also hold down, I'll show you one here, that's on. Control H will turn it off, and Control Shift H will turn it back on. All right, so those are just some shortcuts.